Happy Halloween. Welcome to our Halloween edition of what we do here, Blasphemy and Truth. And today we're going to be taking a look at some of the Halloween propaganda, anti-Halloween propaganda from the very early 90s, 1991. It's called Halloween Trick-or-Treat Pagan Invasion. And for those who don't know, if you might be just joining me, I am an ex-Christian and RTS, religious trauma syndrome survivor, so I was never allowed to celebrate Halloween. Halloween was viewed as this very evil, satanic holiday, and one of these videos that I was shown when I was very young, I can't remember exactly how young I was this video that we're going to take a look at today. And I don't remember hardly. First of all, I don't think I was allowed to watch the whole thing. I think I was only allowed to watch part of it because even this was too frightening, too satanic. So I don't even remember how much of this I watched. So we're going to be delving into this today. It's going to be really good. I have a bottle of wine here because, you know, I'm going to need that. Essentially, it's like, watch me get triggered for your entertainment. It's going to be fun. All right, so I have my alcohol. We're ready to go. Let's watch this video that I have not seen since I don't know how young. And again, I don't even remember how much I've seen of this because I wasn't allowed to watch all of it because it was too frightening, apparently. Let's check it out.
A 13-part video series providing a thorough behind-the-scenes examination of today's New Age movement.
Holy shit, you hear that? 13-part video series. Apparently, this was just the first one? I don't know. I guess it was a 13-part series. Hey, look at that. Call right now, guys, if you want to. Don't actually call. I don't know what that goes to, but we're going to watch the invasion. Oh, this must be another one they did called Invasion of the Godmen? That's badass. See, okay, here's the thing. Why do these these Christian videos that are supposed to scare people, they make it sound so awesome. I've told you guys before that that's what really started, one of the things that really kicked me off in stepping away from Christianity is when my grandmother brought over this video called The Evils of Satanic Music to scare kids. And I thought it was amazing. It had Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson, and all these other amazing rockers on there. And I thought it was awesome. And look at this. I guess they have another one called Invasion of the Godmen. That sounds, I mean, come on, that's, it's like the Nietzschean Ubermensch. Excellent. Anyway. And look at she looks badass. I don't know who this pagan is, but look at their badass headdress and this. Anyway, I'm down.
Neo-Pagan Revival. Each superbly produced volume features rare footage from around the world, along with expert analysis by noted Christian leaders and authors. For more information, contact your local Christian bookstore or call 1-800-828-2290.
Look at these
California
graphics.
Residents call 1-800-633-0869.
Oh, this brings me back. This is weird. This is epic. This is like Lord of the Rings right here. Get the name of God or what? I'm totally expecting the voiceover. In the age of Middle-earth, there were 7 kings and how does it go? I don't remember. Doesn't it? Sounds like that, doesn't it? One ring to rule them all. Roland says, LOL, the number is still in business. Oh no, don't call the number. Come on, don't get me in trouble, guys. I don't even know. Look at these graphics. This is badass for 1991. I mean, come on, 1991? These are some badass crystal DMT fields or something. I don't know what the hell is happening here, but I like it. This is Lord of the Rings. This is, look, there's the castle. There's, what's this? This is Mordor. Where's the Eye of Sauron? I like this. See, this is the problem. All right, look, if there are any, you know, pastors watching or something, if you're trying to scare people away from paganism, stop making it so badass. Philip says, Crystal Mordor of Christ. Honestly, these are pretty good graphics for 1991. Seriously, what was 1991? That was before the Doom games came out. Was it? It must have been around there. This is not bad. Drawbridge coming down. Jesus Christ! I remember this intro, by the way. I remember this intro. Pagan invasion. I'm ready. The eyes. I need more wine here. I think they need to stop making it so enticing if they're trying to frighten people. Eva says they made the intro so long. Yeah, they did. That's why I'm saying this is epic. Oh yeah. Oh, all right. We got some real pagan shit here. All right. They're not playing around. All right. I don't know who that is, but she's hot. She's badass. I like it. You know, honestly, this is not deterring me by any means. Awareness. I see all. I know all. I am all. Great. That's great. And I don't know. Do you see? Just Christianity. Look at the things that they're trying to vilify as evil. Seeing all, knowing all, and being all. Evil, satanic, frightening. It's a pagan invasion. Beware. And it's a sin to think that you see all or know all or that you are all. What a horrible thing. Anyway. This intro is long as hell. Trick or treat? Question mark.
Hello, I'm Chuck Smith.
They're in the castle. Wait, Chuck Smith? I remember Chuck Smith. Chuck Smith, he was... So, yeah, I remember there were certain pastors that my mother and my stepfather, they loved, and Chuck Smith was one of them. That was one of the big ones. But look at them. They're in the DMT Crystal Castle.
And I'm Carol Matriciana. Welcome to this edition of The Pagan Invasion.
Halloween is a festival that conjures up images of ghosts, skeletons, black cats.
This guy's voice, yeah, he was constantly, I know that guy's voice. That guy's voice is ingrained on my brain. That voice, they had cassettes, they would listen to him in the car, oh man, I think we even went to Harvest Festival, Harvest Crusade, huge stadium. And was it Chuck Smith? It was like Chuck Smith or Billy Graham or Hal Lindsey, or I don't remember who it was, but one of those guys. But I remember that. I remember your voice. You creepy guy. Anyway.
Witches on broomsticks and little costumed children scurrying about the neighborhood.
That's some scary shit right here.
Oh my goodness! Hi there.
So evil.
And who are you? Vampire. Dracula's wife.
While there are some people
Shocking.
who may be concerned about the origins of Halloween and its focus on blood, death, horror, and the occult, to millions of youngsters across the nation, it has been adopted as a time to pursue scary fun. It is an opportunity to dress up in ghoulish or fanciful costumes, to engage in the fantasy of being a witch or a vampire, ghost, or devil. Eager trick-or-treaters solicit candy door to door or bob for apples at Halloween parties. Others brave haunted houses and horror movie marathons, while the more daring visit cemeteries at midnight, play with Ouija boards, and hold seances in an effort to contact spirits of the dead. One of the biggest promoters of Halloween is the public school system.
Okay.
School-sponsored Halloween-themed activities often include dances, costume contests, carnivals, and arts and crafts projects.
Oh my God, dances, costume concerts, contests, and arts and crafts. I need more. All right. I'm a little tipsy here. I don't remember how much I watched of this before it was decided this was too frightening, but.
Education officials admit that more effort is usually put into the celebration of Halloween than any other holiday, including Christmas and Easter.
Oh my God, not the Jesus ones. The devil one is more popular? Oh, fuck. Jesus' birth and his resurrection? Let's go with the devil holiday.
Is the stimulation of a child's sense of fun and fear all there is to Halloween? Or is there more? For many entrepreneurs, Halloween is big business, a major promotional event used to bring in billions of dollars worth of revenue.
Okay, fair point. Fair point. Where are you going with this? Oh my God, it's Oscar the Grouch. Devil, Satanic.
In addition to the usual costumes of cartoon characters for children, a growing number of outlets are featuring more macabre and sinister creations for purchase. This one well-known department store chain will sell more than $500 million worth of Halloween paraphernalia this year. And that doesn't include revenue from the sales of trick-or-treat candy. Costume shops such as this one are able to stay in business year-round as a result of the tremendous sales and rentals they receive during the Halloween rush. Farmers also view Halloween with an eye toward making big profits. Pumpkins are a traditional Halloween accessory used by households nationwide as jack-o'-lantern decorations. This one Southern California field of only 164 acres will yield nearly $250,000 to its owner.
Halloween is manipulated by the promoters of horror movies and videos as a major marketing opportunity. While horror films used to be synonymous with B-movies and considered the conventional low-budget...
Little Shop of Horrors? That's not even a horror movie. That's a musical. Is Little Shop of Horrors even considered a horror movie? It's a musical about a plant that eats people. Isn't it supposed to be funny? It's not a horror movie. The sleaziest movies in the history of the world. Ooh, Nudes on the Moon. She-Devils on Wheels. It sounds like Rob Zombie music tracks.
Budget industry standby. Today they account for nearly 20% of all of the revenue received by feature film producers and distributors. The success of the technical revolution in special effects has attracted serious film directors to produce well-crafted, elaborate horror productions. A recent visit to the Video Software Dealers Association exhibition in Las Vegas showed that the two biggest selling artistic genres were pornography and horror.
Okay.
Hollywood is continuing to capitalize on society's growth.
Oh, I like that. I don't know what that is, but what movie is that? I want to watch it. If you guys know in the comments what movie that is, tell me. I like that cover. It's fucking Yaldabaoth right there. It's the demiurge.
Growing craving for the occult and demonic. The irony is that while these producers label such films as fun and make-believe, many of them hire practicing witches or Satanists as technical advisors who ensure the authentic reproductions and performances of rituals, sacrifices, spells, and curses.
People are so hyper during the day, they need to come home and watch something that's like totally unreal so they can release themselves from all the pressures. It's just the type of thing that makes you laugh and forget about life.
Good, yeah, all right, good point. So,
over the last 2 decades, most horror films have become far more graphic in their depictions of violence and cruelty. Movies affectionately known as
Hellraiser. Look, I see Hellraiser in the corner. I see my buddy Pinhead.
splatter films routinely detail torture and dismembering of bodies, drinking of blood, cannibalism, rape, and a host of other grotesque atrocities.
Well, we think it's pretty fun. A lot of people just like it because it's fun, it's wacko, it's not real, and so it's just the type of thing that people like to watch because you don't have to think reality when you watch it.
When it comes to gore or splatter or any other particular genres, the justification lies in our Constitution. I don't feel anybody has the right to tell me what I can or cannot watch.
That guy's got my hairstyle. Look at him. He's biting my style, that guy.
Most of the
There's Hellraiser, Demon to Some, Angel to Others. I love the Hellraiser series. So Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3 are great. All the rest are terrible. I hear they're doing a remake of Hellraiser, but Hellraiser 1 and 2 are fantastic. Now, Hellraiser 3, honestly, it's not that good, but I like it because of the church scene. The church scene in Hellraiser 3 is awesome. If you haven't seen Hellraiser 3, just YouTube, Google, or whatever, the church scene in Hellraiser 3. It's awesome, and it was very inspiring to me. I've done things with worms. I did the same thing that Pinhead did with the long pins through the palms of the hands. I've done that. Yeah. Anyway, here's my buddy. Pinhead was big inspiration to me.
These films receive R ratings, which mean that children under 17 cannot view the film or rent the video without the accompaniment of an adult. Yet this precaution is seldom enforced. For 15 is the average age of those who see these films. While many producers claim that these gruesome spectaculars are merely fun and not dangerous to the psyche of our youth, many of the scenarios from the horror films are duplicated in copycat crimes which make for sensational headlines.
Glenn Hobbs was initiated into a satanic coven as a child by his grandfather and continued participating for many years. I recently asked Glenn about his involvement and the importance of Halloween.
I said Jeff M in the chat says no Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was looking for it. I was looking to see if they were going to show Rocky Horror Picture Show. Wait, when did that come out? When did Rocky Horror come out? That came out in the 80s, didn't it? Because this was 1991. Yeah, that was out, wasn't it?
To the occultist.
Well, my involvement in satanic worship was, I was involved in it as a child. Of course, I was a generational Satanist, what they call a generational Satanist, and what that means is that my family was involved in it and their family before them. Now, my earliest rememberings of Halloween and some of the things that were involved was, it was a very dark time for me as a child. It was something that I didn't enjoy.
Glenn, could you tell us about your involvement in any rituals at Halloween as a child?
There was another little girl that was involved in the the occult with me, and her name was Becky. Now Becky was a different type of child. She was blessed to be a sacrifice. I was being blessed to be a high priest, where she was being blessed and born into the coven there to be a sacrifice. Now we were in a ritual where we were married together. It was a married...
This is like 1990s QAnon. That's what this is. So I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. I remember I looked at some of the comments on this video before I watched it, and some people are saying this guy is an actor. And, you know, I don't know if that's true or not, but pagans do not sacrifice children. They don't do that. So I don't know what this guy's talking about.
To the beast. And me and the little girl were married together, and there was a lot of sexual abuse that took place, and a lot of blood that was spilt over us, joining us together.
When do Halloween rituals actually...
So again, I don't know if this guy actually had a traumatic, you know, childhood. I totally feel for him, right? So, but I know that some people in the comments were saying that he's an actor. I don't know if that's true. If he's not, you know, I feel for the guy. But regardless of what is or isn't, that's not what happens in paganism. You don't that's total fantasy. So if that did happen to this guy, it wasn't because of some pagan occult thing. It was because he grew up with psychos. But some people say that this guy's an actor, and we'll see. Let's watch and see if it seems like he is or not. Because what he's saying, that does not happen. It does not happen.
Begin, and what is the ultimate purpose of Halloween?
Well, the ritual that I remember the most clearly.
Kim, I love that. Kim says, no, they do it in the Bible. Exactly right. That's right. If you read in the Bible, all this types of things that he's describing, I mean, you know, the story of Abraham, the story of Jephthah's daughter, God accepting a burnt virgin sacrifice, the story of the Egyptians where God kills all the firstborn children of Egypt. Anyway, this seems like projection here.
Began about the end of September. Me and the little girl, the one I mentioned named Becky, the abuse was very concentrated at that time. We were taken into several rooms where our clothing was removed. We spent the next couple of weeks in a kind of a shack where a lot of rituals went on, where a lot of animals were killed. They summoned Lucifer and his spirit to come and possess me, and so that I would be blessed to take over the position of the high priest at a certain point in time. Now, Halloween night.
Okay, so
they had again put me and the little girl in the...
So first of all, another thing that makes me suspicious about all of this is that he's saying that this was because he was involved in Satanism. Most Satanists, especially, you know, Levian Satanists, etc., they don't even believe that Satan exists. So even if he was involved in something, if that were true, I highly, highly, highly doubt that they would be calling themselves Satanists. They would be calling themselves... This seems like, what I mean is, like, this seems like a caricature. This seems like what a religious person would think or paint Satanists to be. And if he was actually involved in something like this, it wouldn't have been Satanism. It would have been something else that's like very obscure. That, anyway, it's just I'm very suspicious of this fellow.
In the back of this van, and we again drove off, which seemed like for a long time. We were drugged once again, and we finally came to this stop. They took the little girl out and they left me in the van. I could hear a lot of commotion that was going on outside. People that were screaming, and
I don't know what this guy's gonna say. I don't even know if I can show this on YouTube or not, but what do you say? Maybe this is why I wasn't allowed to watch it. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know where this guy is going, but...
And yelling and this low murmuring and a moaning noise that was going on, like some kind of a low chanting noise that was going on. So I knew
Steffi says this is pure propaganda,
there was some
right?
type of a ritual going on, because I'd heard that many times before. You know, it was real common to see people fall on the ground and convulse and go into convulsions during rituals and stuff with the demonic presence that were around. And
I'm not buying
finally,
this at all.
a woman came to the back of the van and she said, "It's time to go." And she brought me out of the van, and I could see that there was just a lot of people around. Some were dressed in dark brownish kind of robes with hoods over them. They took me up and they led me up to this stone altar. And I remember I saw the little girl, and she was on the altar. Now, at first, you know, I just wondered what was going on, because you never knew. I mean, they used the altar for a lot of different things. They could have just been sacrificing an animal over.
Renee says if true, it would be next to impossible to speak of it so coolly, right?
Could have been a sexual abuse from the high priest onto her. You know, it was a hard thing to know.
Yeah, see, Jeannie says it was a KKK meeting, right? What if this actually happened, which I highly doubt. It was not a Satanist or a pagan thing. This was some psychos, but I am not buying this guy.
Oh, for sure. Well, they ushered me up to the altar, and I could see that they had bound her feet. They had her feet spread apart, her legs, and they had bound them to the ends of the altar, and they had taken her arms, which were laying out this way, and roped them to the altar, which had little kind of like hooks, which they could bind the ropes around. And she was really white. Just I remember seeing her, and she was just real pale and real white. And I noticed that they had slit the bottoms of her feet and her wrists, and they were taking the blood that was running out of those.
Now I know why I wasn't allowed to watch
putting
this.
them into chalices and passing those cups around to different people who were partaking of her blood. Then
So stupid.
the high priest took the athami, or the ritual knife, and he picked it up and he put my hand on it, and then he forced it into her chest.
Oh my God, this is.
So when I think back on Halloween,
terrible.
You know, over that period of time that happened, you know, that was the climax event, Halloween night, where they killed that innocent little girl. And this is something that's happening every Halloween. That's not just an isolated event. I mean, there are children all over the world who are losing their lives during Halloween night, and yet
This is totally 1990s QAnon. That's what this is. He's going to start talking about adrenochrome or whatever they call it, and trying to get high off kids' blood or something. That's what this is. I need more alcohol for this.
We, as a society, we go out and celebrate it, and we go door to door and we ask for candy, and it's a big celebration to us. And I think it's quite ironic how one group of people are thinking it's fun, and another group of people are taking human life, and yet they don't, you know, there seems to be this wall and nobody wants to face the facts of what's really going on.
Today, reports from all over the world show a growing concern over the mushrooming attraction towards the occult. Heinous crimes connected with the occult, according to police, are reaching epidemic proportions. Halloween is the time when community service organizations warn that children and animals are most likely to be abducted. To truly understand the significance of Halloween and its role in the...
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't doubt that there are some sickos out there who do some sick things and maybe use pentagrams or something. But just as easily, these are just sick people. If you look at different crimes or whatnot, you have just as many sick things happening from people who are Christians and profess to be Christians as well. So, you know, yeah, there are sick people who do sick stuff out there. But they are not, it's not because they're Satanists or paganists or whatever. Again, if you look, there's so much child abuse and murder and gross stuff that happens from people that are religious as well.
This mayhem, we must go back to its historic roots.
All right, the historic roots of Halloween. Let's see. Let's open door number 3.
What you are looking at are actual rituals and spells being performed by practicing witches and druids throughout America.
Okay, now see, this seems pagan. This is accurate. To me, this seems pagan. You have people out in the forest venerating nature. So that's what you're going to see in occultism or paganism. You're going to see people in the forest venerating nature during rituals for nature, or you're going to see them even venerating themselves and the collective and the community. All right, let's see where this goes, because this
America and Europe. These are not actors or reenactments. They are real.
Most of Halloween's customs are the remainders of pagan superstition relating to Samhain, the Druidic New Year. The Druids were the influential priests, magicians and sorcerers of the nature religions that prevailed in early northern Europe. These native beliefs permeated Celtic culture for about 2,000 years, up until the introduction of Christianity. Today, a revival of the practices of Druidism, along with various forms of witchcraft and nature worship, are sweeping across Europe and North America.
The Druid orders are full of people from all walks of life, from soap opera stars to...
Now look, this seems... Now this, right, you have this guy talking about children's sacrifice and drinking children's blood and stuff. Okay. And then, but what they're actually showing, the videos, are people out in nature with wreaths on their head talking about venerating the sun. Yeah, now this is paganism. And you have people out in nature venerating the sun. The sun is a symbolism for a new dawn. It's a symbol for light. It's a symbol for enlightenment. A lot of different symbols related with the sun. But yeah, so, okay, this is quite different than what that fellow was just describing.
Doctors and lawyers, dentists and toilet cleaners. Anybody can be a druid.
I'm standing on Primrose Hill, which is one of the sacred sites in London. And it was here that the Druid Order was inaugurated in its last, most recent cycle in 1717, when a number of Druids from Wales and Scotland and Ireland and Brittany and England came together.
That guy must be possessed. You see him? You see that guy? You see how he's humming? Did you hear him hum? That's a devil hum. It's devil humming in his mouth. Spit out the devil, man. Spit that out. Spit that. Look, that person's got a harp. You see that? You see that harp? See, that's the devil's harp. That's the devil.
And it is here that some of the ceremonies are held.
Samhain was seen as a time when the dividing line between the dead and the living was at its thinnest. Consequently, contact with spirit beings was thought to be easiest. Samhain was also one of the major fire festivals of the Celts. At this time, the Druidic priesthood led the people in diabolical worship ceremonies in which they would sacrifice animals and humans in ritual killings.
Human sacrifice has absolutely no place in the modern tradition. Just because we see a pagan revival doesn't mean that we wish to go back to barbarism of any sort. So it's a bit of a red herring. It's not something we like to talk about.
The name for Druids is believed to come from the Greek word drus, meaning oak. Druids usually select groves of oaks for their ceremonies and use the leaves in their sacred rites.
The work of the Druids consists in reuniting us with the world of nature externally and internally with that stream of ancient wisdom. And
all right, you see, now we have someone. So this guy is apparently a real druid, and he could be an actor, but I think that he is a real druid because what he is saying accurately reflects paganism and occultism, etc. Like that other guy, I don't know what happened with that other guy, but what this guy is saying, this guy seems more legit to me because he's talking about how, what did he just say? It's venerating the externality of nature and then inner ancient wisdom. Oh my God, Satan, devil.
Knowledge.
Sharing the Druidic tradition of nature worship is witchcraft. The title witch is from the Saxon word Wicca, meaning the one who practices sorcery. The Oxford Dictionary states that a Wiccan is one who is twisted, bent, or warped.
What? The Oxford Dictionary defines a Wiccan as someone who is twisted, bent, or warped. Was it really defined as that? Because that's pretty messed up. If in 1991 that was the definition of Wiccan. What? That's fucked up. All right, let's see.
Despite attempts from modern Wiccans to sanitize the original intention of witchcraft, its practice cannot be divorced from demonology.
O guardians of the watchtower of the east.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, she's a badass. I like her. All right, let's see what she's doing. The guardians of the watchtowers of the east. All right. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. From the rising sun in the east. Let's hear it.
I, Ishtar, high priestess and witch, do summon and stir thee. I command thy presence at this our meeting, to guard over our circle and to witness our rites.
Yeah, so they're doing the symbol of the pentagram with the dagger, and they're invoking archetypes. They're invoking archetypal structures to look over the ritual. So again, I don't know if these are but then you see her headdress. She has both the moon and the rays of the sun representing duality. This seems pretty legit to me. Again, I don't know if they are actors, but so far this seems pretty legit, because I think if they were actors, they'd be showing them, being possessed, rolling around, sacrificing babies or something. This seems legit.
Mote it be.
So mote it be.
My mother was a witch. And my
mother was a witch. She was burned alive. Thanks. Yeah. What was that? Who sang that song? I know Metallica did a cover of it. Who sang that song? That's gonna bug me now. It's a good song. Anyway, let's continue.
grandmother was a witch. And I have been a witch for as long as I can remember.
Oh, she's cute.
Since I have been practicing the craft, there has been a great revival.
I believe there's about 1 million people in England alone.
Oh, look, you have little old ladies and people walking around holding hands with wreaths. Oh my God. Satanic panic, pagan invasion. The pagans are invading. They're going to make us all hold hands and take care of nature.
That practice witchcraft. The pagans are all over the place with their covens. If they're not calling themselves witches alone, they are paganistic in their ways.
There are probably now...
Oh, right. This is where all the Christians freak. Like, can you imagine in 1991? This would be so, you know, all the mothers are, oh, don't look. Now I know why I wasn't allowed to watch this. Now I know why I wasn't allowed to watch this.
As many.
But anyway, I'm joking. This is just veneration of nature. Obviously, yeah, freedom of. Obviously, this is fine. What's wrong with that? It's your body. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with this.
People practicing witchcraft in Britain, as there are.
Oh, by the way, if you're wondering why they're blindfolded and all that, it depends on what tradition you are. You know, if it's like occultism or you know, Wicca or Freemasonry or whatever. But for one of the uses of the blindfold is sometimes done as initiation, and it's to represent being able to step into greater knowledge. So again, this isn't ubiquitous. The blindfold can mean different things, but sometimes what the blindfold means is that an initiate or someone will wear the blindfold, and then at the end of the blindfold, at the end of the initiation or the ritual, they'll have the blindfold removed, and this symbolically represents stepping from ignorance into knowledge. You're blind and ignorant, and then you are able to see. So I don't know if that's specifically what this ritual is doing, but if some people are wondering why they're wearing a blindfold, it can mean different things. That's one of the meanings that it may have.
Committed Christians.
I regard myself as a natural witch. I was regarded myself as a witch since early childhood. I was brought up in a very isolated part of the country, on the Welsh border, which has a long tradition of magic and Welsh sorcerers. It's almost as if there's a kind of grassroots feeling back towards paganism. We live in a kind of post-Christian era almost, and that people are moving towards a kind of neo-paganism, I suppose.
Hell yeah, that's right. And honestly, Hyperianism can be considered a form of neopaganism. I mean, honestly, because our roots are we're rooted in paganism, so we are neopagans. I mean, we're so cutting edge pagans that, I mean, most pagans don't even realize that we are. But I mean, paganism had its roots in things like philosophy. How you have Pythagoras, who's extremely important in Hyperianism, who says that all is number rules the universe. And Pythagoras used the pentagram to be able to identify members of the Pythagorean mystery school, the Pythagorean cult, of those who would want to study the true nature of reality and understand mathematics. So yeah, we are, fulfilling the invasion, I suppose.
Learn as practicing witches to tap into forces of nature and to actually, if you like, send out a spell or an incantation or an invocation in a very powerful way.
It's in many ways to bring you back to nature, to bring oneself back to nature, and to learn how we fit in with the natural scheme of the universe and the natural scheme of the earth.
See, that's really cool. Learning about how we fit in with the natural scheme of the universe, how we fit in with the earth. So, it's seeing the earth as being this system that one needs to understand how they fit in with that system to best interact with it. So that's not, it's not satanic. It's making sure that the place you live in, that you are making sure that you take care of it and venerating it such that it remains healthy. And obviously that's a very important thing, something we see not taking seriously today with global warming and, just trashing the earth. Now in Hyperianism, we of course know that we are not only nature, we are above nature. We are a panentheism. We are nature and more than nature. We are both physical and non-physical, non-physical being primary. So yeah, I just want to make it clear that Hyperianism is not this kind of paganism or the occult, but I give this a lot of respect because it is a great deal of an improvement from Abrahamic monotheistic sort of religions.
And understanding what we need to do to heal the planet.
Because worship of nature is so central to their theology, large numbers of practicing Druids and witches are dedicated to today's ecology movement.
See, and again, do you see the huge difference between what that guy that they were interviewing was describing and now what actual pagans are talking about? You have this, drinking baby's blood versus healing the planet. Yeah.
We have a number of initiatives which include planting groves of sacred trees.
Planting trees.
And a campaign for individual ecological responsibility, which is concerned with showing how each of us can become ecologically responsible.
I think the time...
This is they're just, what I think happened. Basically, they're just saying, we wanted to take over, we want to take care of the earth. That's the gist of it. I mean, I know that there's much more to paganism than just that, but that's what these people are saying. And I don't know. To me, what happened was you have these religious individuals making this film, and they're going out filming all these Druids and Wiccans, and all they're saying is we want to take care of the planet. And they were probably like, oh shit, well, let's get some guy to talk about baby sacrifice, because we can't just create our Halloween video and put in a bunch of people saying that they want to take care of the planet, because that's not going to work. That's what I feel like happened.
Time is coming now where we have to take the responsibility by the throat and actually get out there and say, there are answers here. I'm not prepared as a pagan, as a priest, and as a practicing witch to sit back and see my planet, my mother, raped any longer.
Great.
Answer unto me.
Halloween is often confused as a Christian holiday because of its association with Christian All Saints' Day or the Eve of St. Hallows, All Souls' Day. In fact, the original Christian dedication used to be celebrated in May and was intended to honor those Christians who died for their faith. But by the 9th century, the influential Roman Catholic Church changed the holiday to November, and the Protestant Church soon followed. Today, A thin Christian veil attempts to disguise an ancient pagan festival of the dead, which has become not only a sect.
I love that. So Alana in the chat says that Christianity is waiting for the end of the planet. Pagans want to heal that. I love that. I love that. You're completely right, Alana. Every single time Christianity is constantly predicting the end of the world. They were predicting the end of the world as soon as, basically as soon as Jesus was crucified. They were saying, oh, it's the end of the world's going to happen. Then during the Roman times, when all the fires in Rome was lit, oh, it's the sign of the apocalypse. The end of the world is happening. I remember when I was growing up, it was supposed to be Y2K, the year 2000. Oh, it's the end of the world. It's always the end of the world, end of the world, end of the world. And then, yeah, you have pagans that want to heal the planet and make this, our home, a better place to live. And we completely feel that as well with regard to Hyperianism. We want to create a better earth, a better planet, a better environment. We're not, yeah. Anyway, great point, Alana. 100% agree.
Secular observance, but notorious as the most favoured holy day of witches, sorcerers and devil worshippers.
I can't really say when I became interested in Wicca, because it's always been part of me.
Hey Ashley, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to do some shout outs in a minute here. I love this. Sally, the Witch Queen of Kent. That's a badass title. I want to be the Witch Queen. It's like, give me a ring of power, please. That's awesome. Give me a fell beast to ride and join the 9. That's really cool. Anyway, keep in mind again that everything that actual pagans are saying versus the guy that they were interviewing. Do you see the huge difference here? I'm very suspicious of that guy.
Part of my roots. I love Halloween. I think I'm a very autumn person. We dress up the house with cobwebs and so on, and we cast a circle. And we have a smoky cauldron, and we all scry, which means do clairvoyance, into the smoke which comes out of the cauldron. And we open the gates of the underworld. And if any spirits want to come forward and speak, we listen to them.
My first initiation, when I became first degree, was on Halloween. And I felt very, very much in tune with the god.
The ancient Druids worshipped Baal, one of the most powerful of all the demon kings. In the list of Enochian demons, Baal is said to be a king, which is of the power of the East.
It's pronounced Baal.
Eastern religions emphasize that spiritual power comes from meditation. The common denominator between Druids, witches, and Satanists is the practice of meditation.
Did you hear that? The common denominator between pagans, Wiccans, and Satanists is meditation. Don't you do it. Don't you close your eyes and think about nothing. Don't you do that. Because you know why? You're preparing your body as a vessel for the devil. You're emptying yourself. That's what meditation is. Do you know that? You are making yourself an empty vessel for demons and the devil.
For the purpose of making contact with the spirits of the dead or disembodied souls.
You do a lot of meditation.
Oh, really? Is that what you're doing when you're meditating? Is that what? So when you had a stressful day at work and come home, you put on some music and you meditate. Is that what you do? You're trying to contact the devil? Is that? Oh, I didn't know that.
With the arts. And you get onto this higher plane, it becomes less physical and more mental.
It takes years of...
My God, did you hear that? Motherfucker was using his imagination. Devil.
Painstaking study, meditational work, finding your higher mind, being able to actually tap into the forces of nature and use those.
I have, on occasion, touched upon, I suppose you could call them spirit guides. People describe them in different way.
She's cool. I like her vibe. I just paused it. Look. She's talking about. Look at the image they flashed to. So there's this woman talking about contacting spirit guides or what have you. Bam! They flash to a picture of a demon. That's what happened. They were filming this and they were like, oh man, all we can do is we get pagans talking about healing the earth, using their imagination, meditating. And so let's just throw in some demon imagery to really skew perceptions here.
I am aware of a hierarchy of spiritual advisors who live on another plane of consciousness.
Look at these pictures. She's aware of spiritual advisors that live on another plane of consciousness, and they're showing all these demons and devils, and they could just as easily have shown pictures of angels and beings of light, but yet they are showing these, I don't even know. Anyway, Balrogs.
That you can approach, that will acknowledge you and advise you and assist you.
She's cool. I like her. I like her. I like her. I don't know who that is, but I like her.
Of what we call contacts. There are other names for them. They are beings. That's the easy thing to call them, which can be people
Jan says
who
I
have
like her
lived
too.
on
Yeah,
the
she's
earth,
cool.
or they can be god forms.
They become almost as real as the people standing next to you.
So basically, yeah, I mean, again, what they're talking about are archetypes. There are these, so your unconscious communicates in symbolism. So when you engage in Hyperionism, we engage in void states or whatnot, in dreams and everything like this, your unconscious can manifest itself as beings. And so these are just aspects of you. They're called archetypes. Carl Jung, Swiss psychiatrist, was very aware. And yeah, they're just aspects of your psyche. For example, your shadow self are the parts of your unconscious that were repressed. They can appear as, shadowy creatures. And then the mirror self can represent, the opposite, be in your dreams as the opposite gender. There are many different, and they're not always dark creatures. They can be, it's just parts of you, like your power self, right? Your power self, when that manifests, this is often seen as divine and powerful being, basically people mistake it for God. Like even religious people, when they have the experience of a bright light and experiencing God or an angel, they're experiencing their own power self or their higher self or even the source if they get to a certain point. But anyway, I think it's really funny how they're talking about these things and just flashing to the most evil pictures they could find.
And whoever else you call doesn't actually materialize. You can't see them in the physical sense, but mentally you know that they are there. You can see them in your mind's eye.
They represent really forces in the universe.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, miss. They represent forces in the universe. But they're, mental forces. But the universe is mental, so there's a big crossover. But yeah, the archetypes are mental forces. That's what they are. Structures of mind. It's psychology. It's not the devil. It's psychology. Go study Carl Jung, right? Go talk to a psychoanalyst. These are mental structures.
Forces that are like gravity or wind.
See, she knows what she's talking about. She's akin to forces like gravity or wind, but just the mental analog of that. She knows. She knows. Some people interpret these as beings or whatnot, but that's because the unconscious communicates in symbols. But anyway, yeah.
But there are forces that have to do with our internal makeup and make our minds work in the way that they work.
I don't know who this is, but she's smart. She's an intelligent motherfucker. Hi, how are you? Please enlighten us with more information because you have hit the nail on the head.
Margaret Adler.
Let's switch to bones now. Let's switch to skulls and bones after someone just talked about understanding the internal mental makeup of your mind via archetypal symbology. Let's switch to bones.
A practicing witch and author of Drawing Down the Moon warns that the trance state, with its roots in ancient shamanism and paganism, is not to be entered into lightly or when alone. For the spirit to be contacted actually enters the witch's body, using it to deliver a verbal message.
There is a possibility if you don't cast a circle, the forces that could come into the room could take over in a form of possession.
Oh no, possession! Oh my god, the witch queen has spoken. Let's see what she's gonna say. Actually, you know what? Let's take a little break because we're more than halfway done with this. So let me take a break. There's some shout outs I need to give in the comments. We'll finish this up. But I want to jump into the comments for a minute and hang out with you guys. But then we'll see what the Witch Queen of Agmar, is that what it is? Agmar has to say. She's cool too. I like her. Also, do you know what else I've noticed? You know what else I've noticed? A lot of these powerful feminine figures as well, you know, a lot of, and that's the great thing about paganism too, is that it really makes room for all genders, for the most part. And, you know, I mean, the reason why I say for the most part is because, you know, paganism is a very general thing. But for the most part, you see, like you've seen, most of the people talking have been women, which is awesome, especially like in 1991, living in this very big patriarchal society. You have this very large feminine aspect to paganism, which is really cool to see because, you know, it really contrasts the Abrahamic patriarchal structure. Whereas, you know, in the Bible, it says, you know, I do not permit a woman to teach. She is below the man. She must remain silent and submissive. She committed the first sin. She condemned humanity, but she will only be saved through childbirth and all these different things, which are really, really condemnation. And then in like paganism, you have the witch queen and all these awesome, you know, very, you know, we've been hearing from these different feminine figures, which anyway, I think that that's really cool. Witch Queen of Germany. Okay, wait, what did I say? We're at 26? I forgot already. We'll start it here.
Know that they are there. You can see them in your mind's eye.
They represent really forces in the universe.
Right, we heard from her. She knows what she's talking about.
Like gravity or wind, but they're forces that have to do with our internal makeup and make our minds work in the way that they work.
Margaret Adler, practicing witch and author of Drawing Down the Moon,
well, we saw this already,
warns that the trance state, with its roots in ancient shamanism and paganism, is not to be entered into lightly or when alone. For the spirit to be contacted actually enters the witch's body, using it to deliver a verbal message.
There is a possibility, if you don't cast a circle, the forces that could come into the room could take over in a form of possession. We had one example here.
I love the images and the music they play over everything. Really gets you in the mindset of
where one young woman, a nurse, was possessed by, I don't know what it was, but a horrible voice came through her and she passed out.
While occult procedures...
It's probably just gas. I mean, really. Anyway.
Procedures in their rituals may vary in intensity. The fact is that witches, as well as Satanists, commemorate Halloween night with the same...
Those babies, you know, consuming so many babies can cause indigestion.
...fervent dedication to invoke spirits for personal power.
Queen of heaven, queen of hell, horned hunter of the night.
Queen of heaven, queen of hell, that's cool. All right, I like that.
Lend your power unto our spell, and work our will by magic right.
I love these graphics, and I don't know, it's just really, again, all these things are doing are it's psychology. You are invoking these archetypal forces that are within yourself. Anyway, let's...
Glenn, you've now been a Christian for some time. What is your reaction when you see Halloween celebrated by people?
Whenever Halloween time starts...
it's this fucker again. Okay, again, I don't know if he's an actor or not. So apologies. If he really had something traumatic happen to him, I'm not hating on him. I feel for him. But I'm very suspicious of him. Whether he's an actor or he's not an actor, there's something misleading going on here. But again, I really feel like... Because look at all the actual imagery and clips that they have of paganism. It's all just, oh, well, we love the earth and we want to heal the earth and we want people to live in harmony and peace together. And they're like, well, this won't do. Even overlaying demonic imagery over this, that won't do. Let's get this guy back in.
It's coming around about the 1st of October. You go into the stores. You see the costumes, you see the mother with her little girl putting the witch's hat on her and the little boy getting excited about getting the devil mask, and You see the candy, you see the Halloween pumpkins, you see people decorating their houses with skeletons and all these symbols of death. You know, it only serves to bring back horrifying memories to me. Memories of death, memories of children being so abused, so ripped of everything, their character, all in the name of Satan. If a person could really stop the next time they go into that store and realize that there are children who are going to lose their life.
Okay, again, maybe something happened to this guy, but if it did, it's not paganism and occultism and Satanism. It's some psycho that decided to use some imagery or something. Which I don't think this guy, I don't know. Oh, also, by the way, you want to talk about violence and stuff. What about the Crusades? What about the witch burnings?
Because people are taking this a step further. There are people out there who don't just celebrate Halloween with trick-or-treat candy.
Look at those bees. Look at those Satan bees. Look at the bees of the devil. Look at the devil. The devil is taking over the lives of those children in the guise of bee costumes.
This is a religious
Satan's
holiday
stinger.
to them. This is something that is holy and sacred, and they are taking innocent human life. I can't say, go ahead and have Halloween fun. It doesn't matter if you're participating in Halloween.
Did you see that possessed pumpkin? Did you see that pumpkin? That pumpkin was, the devil was walking around. That pumpkin was alive.
Even if you're not a Satanist, you know, if it's just for fun. No, because these Satanists are using this as a smokescreen.
Glenn, you said that Halloween is a religion of Satan. What do you think when you see churches and Christians celebrating Halloween?
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's not good.
It makes me sick.
So sick. Now, yeah, we weren't allowed, like I said, I wasn't allowed to celebrate Halloween. We had this weird alternative version where you would go to church and everyone would dress up like Bible characters and you would play games and win candy. And it was weird. It was really weird. I did not want to dress up as a Bible character. I wanted to be Darth Vader, but I was not allowed to be Darth Vader because my mother believed that George Lucas used a witch to channel Satan to tell George Lucas that I guess describe a demon to George Lucas, and that was Darth Vader. So I wasn't allowed to be Darth Vader because Darth Vader was actually a devil channeled by a witch told to George Lucas. Anyway.
That the Church of Jesus Christ would take on this horrible demonic thing that is happening in our world. Christians should be the ones who are standing up against this. Christians should be the one who are saying these terrible things are happening and we want to stand against this. Churches should not be having these Halloween parties at all. They should be coming together as brothers and sisters in Christ, binding together and coming against these dark forces, praying for these children that God will spare their lives, that somehow God will intervene and save these children.
Whether the public chooses to believe in the frightening...
Do you see those kids? Those bees? Save the children from the bees and the candy. Do not let them go in those devilish ways. I have no words. Just continue.
The growth of Satanism or not. The fact is that a highly organized network of Satanists...
A highly organized network of Satanists. Hook me up with this network. Where is this network? Where is this highly organized satanic network? Where is this? Is it like TikTok? Is this the Satan network? Hell, Okay.
So operating in America and Europe today.
This is cute. This is 1990 QAnon. Anyway.
They seem to be respectable members of society and are integrated into all professions and walks of life. We go now to a special report from noted author Hal Lindsey, who is on...
Oh, Hal Lindsey. Yeah, let's talk about Hal Lindsey. Oh, man, did they love Hal Lindsey. Yeah, I remember him. Hal Lindsey, Billy Graham, Chuck Smith. Who else? Those were the big ones. Let's see what Hal Lindsey has to say about this. Someone said the Satanic Network is Facebook. Facebook is the Satanic Network. Yeah, that's right.
Location at a site known to be used for satanic rituals.
There's some good graphics for 91.
We came out to a place in the hills east of Los Angeles, to a location that has been identified in the past with ritual worship and, we believe, Satanism. Frequently, this site has been discovered with candles that had been used in ritual, and you can look at some of the artifacts we found here today.
What'd you find?
Upside-down crosses that were put around, bones that are scattered around here.
Bones and crosses.
And various satanic symbols.
You hear this shit? My man, Hal Lindsey, found some bones, a couple of sticks, and candles. Clearly evidence of a highly organized satanic network sacrificing children.
But also something disturbing in the light of what we'll be talking about in the future, and that is the diaper of a very, very small baby. You know, I believe that this country is experiencing a pagan invasion.
Found a diaper! My man found a diaper. They probably had a baby and they changed its shit and left the diaper. Oh my God, they found a baby. Oh, okay.
Including a new upsurge of practice of witchcraft, the New Age, and as we will talk about today, outright Satanism.
Does that say Black Sabbath? This is music. Look in the corner. It says Black Sabbath, Am I Evil? And I bet that says Metallica in the corner. This is a bathroom stall of the Roxy. This is the bathroom stall of the whiskey right here. I don't know if it is. I'm just saying. Like, it's got Black Sabbath, Metallica. Am I Evil is a track done by, I forget who it was, but Metallica did a song by them. Oh my God. All right. Philip says it's meta. You're right. It's Facebook's new name. It is satanic. Facebook just rechanged their name to Meta. You're right. Yeah, that is the song I was referring to earlier. Oh my God, the devil was prophesying through me.
Around the middle of the 1960s.
Hey, it's Anton. Hey, Anton, what you doing here?
There was a dramatic upsurge in satanic worship, beginning with Anton LaVey and his writing of the Satanic Bible and the founding of the Church of Satan in San Francisco in 1966. I watched as this accelerated, not just in the West Coast, but around the country. When Charles Manson...
LaVey and Satanists don't even believe that the devil actually exists. It's just a symbol. It's an archetype as the rebel. It's just the rebel archetype. They don't believe that Satan is something that is a being that actually exists.
And his gang.
Oh, well, okay, now they're talking about Charles Manson. Why are they talking about Charles Manson?
1969, committed the horrible, brutal crime at Sharon Tate's home.
Okay.
This was done in connection with all of the paraphernalia of Satan worship. This started a whole avalanche of satanic crimes. We've seen serial murders. We have watched as one after another has been brought to light. Many murders where...
Now, it is true that there have been some murderers, was it like Richard Ramirez and all that have used satanic imagery in their murders. But these are just psychologically messed up people. These aren't representatives of Satanism or occultism or paganism. These are just psychologically, people that have issues and have done some terrible things.
Satanic symbols have been discovered. The pentagram, 666, and all sorts of things of this nature were done. But more distressing, we have found all over the country reports that there are animals that have been mutilated in a very skillful and specific style that shows.
Which is really hilarious, because look in the Bible and talk about all the different animal sacrifices in the Bible. In the Old Testament is filled with how you're supposed to sacrifice animals in a very specific way, that it pleases God, that God loves the smell of the burning flesh of the animals. Again, you look at the Old Testament, it's filled with animal sacrifice. And in the case of Jephthah's daughter, burnt virgin sacrifice.
That they were ritually offered as sacrifices. There are now confirmed cases where there have been girls that have been used as breeders, and their infant children have been sacrificed to Satan. Halloween seems to be the high holy day for the Satanist and the occultist. Halloween is the time when all across the country, in secret little places,
I'm almost done with
in the
this.
dark, there will be little babies sacrificed to Satan. You don't believe it? I know it's hard to believe myself.
Is it?
But there has been such an acceleration.
But you found
of
sticks
worship
and
of Satan
candles.
that we believe that these sorts of things are happening, and we have evidence that they are.
Satanism.
And again, I'm not saying that bad stuff doesn't happen. It does, but it's not reflective of occultism and paganism.
Exists in this country as it exists elsewhere.
Or Halloween.
It is appallingly evil. It is about murder. It is about child abuse. It's about sexual abuse. It is no joke and must be taken seriously and must be dealt with.
Yeah, Sarah says they're really not talking about the same thing anymore. You're right.
If they can ritually abuse children,
It's fucking
if they
QAnon, that's all
can
this
in
is.
any way sexually
precursor
abuse
to it.
children, anything to destroy a child's innocence or their trust or their wonder at the world, they will do it.
The most tragic stories that I've ever heard are where a child has told people what's been happening, and the adults have said, don't be stupid, that doesn't happen in this.
And again, I just want to be clear, bad stuff does happen. I mean, you look at I've had a lot to drink, but you know that very prominent individual who that billionaire asshole who had that island and was trafficking kids or whatnot. Like bad shit does happen, but this idea to use it to smear paganism and occultism and Halloween is absolutely crazy. Kai Epstein, that's right, Wrath, Epstein. I'm, hey. Kai says that happens in Christianity. Right, exactly. Like, let's talk about Catholicism and everything that goes on with Catholic priests and all that. So,
This country, you're making up stories, you're lying.
The problem we're coming across is that the higher officials in these public organizations do not want to acknowledge that this is occurring. We need to lift that veil of misunderstanding and saying, hey, this is a crime to be done.
And what's really funny about this is when you get into high levels of occultism, for those who truly know what high levels of occultism are, they would not have any interest in harming children because, again, like, look at all the values of paganism. It's about taking care of the earth, about healing. For those who, truly understand occultism, it's about creating a better environment for the growth of souls and having a better experience, etc. So, again, like I said, I'm sure that there are bad people who do some bad things, but they do not reflect occultism or paganism in any way whatsoever. Again, occultism and paganism is about creating a healthy environment, creating a healthy earth, etc. And again, right, there are bad people out there. That's just how it is. This is a crazy world filled with insanity. But again, look at all the craziness that has gone in the Christian church and all the atrocities committed. But this is ridiculous misrepresentation.
Dealt with. It's the crime of the 90s. It's not going away.
Satanists want to recruit. We know that it's been going.
See, what they do is they go from talking about children being abused, and then they switch over to, say, like Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan. They're trying to get people to equate the two. Now, this is completely different things. LaVey and Satanists don't believe that Satanism actually exists. So if LaVey and Satanism is basically, I mean, by God, let me read to you the Satanic commandments, for those who aren't familiar. Is this right? Let's see. The 11 satanic rules of the earth. 1, do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. 2, do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. 3, when in another's home, show them respect or else do not go there. 4, if a guest in your home annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. I mean, that's probably the worst one, but that's just basically saying if someone is a guest and is being an asshole, don't take shit. 5, do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal. In other words, consensuality. 6, do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and they cried out to be relieved. 7, acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic, you will lose what you have obtained. 8, do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. 9, do not harm little children. 10, do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. No animal sacrifice. 11, when walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not, destroy him. I mean, again, a little, but basically, if someone is interfering with you, don't put up with it. Let's see. And again, these are the 11 satanic rules of the earth from LaVey and Satanism. And you can see this is, from what they are saying in this video, there are clear contradictions. And then the 9 satanic sins are stupidity, pretentiousness, solipsism, self-deceit, conformity, lack of perspective, forgetfulness of past orthodoxies, counterproductive pride, and lack of aesthetics. So, I mean, right here, it says no human sacrifice, do not harm children, make sure you're consensual, don't bother people. So evil. You see, it's a clear projection because it's really everything that the Christian church is promoting, or that occurs within, that they are labeling onto others and projecting onto others. But anyway, let's continue this. And just to reiterate, we as Hyperions, I'm Hyperion, are not Satanists. Satanism has nothing to do with Hyperionism. I am just saying Satanism, paganism, occultism is a big step up from mainstream religion. I'm not saying that that's what I am. No, I'm Hyperion, which is something else entirely. But let's continue.
Going on for many years, this is not new, but their arrogance and their outwardness about the way they recruit is becoming unbelievable.
Sometimes they'll simply suck them in through the local high schools, sex and drug parties.
We have an epidemic of young people participating in some strata of Satanism. Now, that doesn't mean that they're all out sacrificing human beings, but they may very well be doing the rituals that involve mutilation of animals. One fire department individual told me all of the woods around our area have these types of rituals going on.
It is believed that
some crazy people probably do these things, but as you can see, it's in clear contradiction to the satanic rules, for example.
If you kill an animal, that exerts a tremendous amount of energy that the people there can sort of vampirize on. And so animals would be slain, and this is especially true on the high holidays like
Now, there is something to, now I will say that in like ancient traditions, there was sacrifice that would occur. But see, this would be considered black magic, or magic that is done by people who don't really understand what it's about. But it's not something that is done like widely in Satanism or occultism or paganism. These are crazy people, is what I mean to say. These are a couple of crazy people who don't get what it's about.
Beltane and Samhain, Halloween and May Eve.
There's something about sacrifice. If you do it once, you want to do it all the time. Once you've actually passed the barrier of sacrificing an animal, you get this sort of bloodlust where you really want to do it. And I really wanted to do it.
Many mass killers start out by, yeah, that's true. Okay.
This lady in a black robe came forward with this little baby. And at first I didn't realize it was a real baby. And she just laid it on the altar.
I'm very suspicious of these former Satanists that they keep interviewing. Because you'll notice all the actual pagans that they interview are doing these rituals of healing the earth, but it's all these former Satanists. I'm very suspicious.
It was breathing, but it wasn't crying. And then the high priest just took the athame, or the ceremonial dagger, and just cut the baby's throat and caught the blood in a chalice. At that point, I was staggering, reeling. I thought I was just going to throw up. I just couldn't believe it. But by then, I was so scared that I just stood there. And then when I was led forward, I thought, this is it. It's your turn. They're going to kill you. And I was lifted up onto the altar. Now, I at that time was still in white. It was part of a sacrifice known as the sacrifice of the White Virgin. And the same blood that had come from the baby was daubed all over my body. Then the high priest raped me. And I think at that moment, I was just, the fact I was still alive went through my mind. I thought, you're still alive. I then had to sign in blood a parchment stating that I would never, ever reveal what had happened in a coven. If I did, I would die.
Are human beings being sacrificed?
All right, well, coven is Wiccan. So are you a Satanist or what is she? Why did she not report this to anyone later? Why did she not get these people arrested? What? I am very suspicious of all this.
Sacrificed? Yeah.
Susan says these former Satanists are too calm when talking about the events. Yeah, very sus, very sus.
They are. There's a lot of things that I would look for to make a determination on a ritualistic crime. It could be marks that are found at the scene. It may be things like a pentagram. It may be an upside-down cross. It could be, again, the number 666. It could be a loss of blood in the body, certain parts removed in a certain manner. They're victims. Some were targeted for specific reasons. One, because they wouldn't join. Two, because they did join and they want to drop out. Some of their victims are themselves. They voluntarily do it.
In many satanic groups, a mother will be...
You know what I'm actually going to do real quick, guys? If you are... Because Facebook is really crazy. If you guys are watching on Facebook and want to keep watching this with us, come on over to YouTube. I'm going to put a link to the YouTube stream because I'm actually going to stop the stream on Facebook just because Facebook's crazy. And, you know, I don't want to have the stress of constantly looking at Facebook to see if Zuckerberg is on the prowl. So if you are watching on Facebook and want to join us, continue watching. I'll put the link in the chat. I'll pin it. Okay, it's not letting me for some reason. So if you're watching on Facebook, yeah, Facebook's being weird. It's not letting me even comment. So if you look at the caption of this video on Facebook, this video has a caption. Look at the caption. The link will be in there. Okay, so do that. Did it let me post a comment? Yes, it did. Okay, so I've pinned the comment on, well, no, see, Facebook's being weird. Anyway, if you're from Facebook, come on over to YouTube because I'm going to stop it here on Facebook. Because Facebook's being annoying. Let me see. We'll get this going in just a minute, guys. I just want to make sure Facebook's not being dumb. Is my fluff is blowing? Ah, it is. You're right. I wish I didn't always have to have the air conditioning on because it messes with the audio, but the lights in here are just so hot. All right, let me... Okay, I'm stopping the stream on Facebook, so come on over to YouTube. Where's the... Okay, so Facebook stream is shut down, but we are continuing here on YouTube so that we don't have to have the shadow of Zuckerberg looming over us. What? Philip says next we should watch the From Physics to Metaphysics tape by Pagan Invasion. There's... Philip, they have one called Physics to Metaphysics? That sounds fascinating. I want to watch that. What the hell? What do they have to say about... What are they going to do? They're going to get on Plato's ass? They're going to condemn Plato for being possessed by the devil? The domain of forms is the realm of Satan and his minions. Universals are satanic. All a priori truths are satanic commandments. If you're here from Facebook, say hi and hit like while you're here, okay? Yeah, Facebook was being a little weird. I'm just looking at my stats. Let me make sure that Facebook isn't freaking out. All right, I think we're good. God damn it, I hate Facebook. It's so annoying. Just let me exist. All right, I think we're good here. Yeah, probably, Lee. Jason says you speak too much truth for Bookface. Yeah. So I appreciate you guys for your support so I can do this shit. Today, yesterday. All right, I think we're good. Let's get back to the Pagan Invasion.
Asked to sacrifice her own child to Satan, and she may even, in fact, be ritually impregnated to do that. She may even specifically have been impregnated, and then when the child is born, they never register the child as being born, and they kill it in a very horrible way, and sometimes the mother herself is actually asked to do it.
Some of you may not even believe what you've just seen. You may believe that this is just...
You're right, I don't believe it.
...something that's aberrational and that it just doesn't reach the mainstream of America. But just think about some of the headlines we've had recently. The case in Matamoros, where a group in Mexico were practicing human sacrifice, where they kidnapped and actually sacrificed several innocent young people. And think about the Night Stalker case here in Los Angeles, with Ramirez brazenly flashing the satanic symbol.
Yeah, and I mean, that is true, right? That is true. There are crazy people out there. Like, I'm not denying that there are, but to equate this as being ubiquitous across paganism and occultism and Satanism and Halloween, is crazy.
And saying "Hail Satan" and holding up his palm with a pentagram in it. And yet Ramirez was convicted of some of the most brutal crimes that we've ever seen in this civilized society. One case where he caused the woman to say "Hail Satan" while he was raping and sodomizing her alongside of her husband, whom he had already murdered.
Yeah, there's sickos out there. There's no doubt about that.
That were done as a result, I believe, of getting involved in Satanism.
The real Satanists, the hardcore Satanists, are involved in criminal activity, and for that reason they are going to try and look as normal as possible, the better to be able to deceive you. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're teachers, they're oftentimes people who are in positions of great influence over small children.
I need more alcohol. I'm out of alcohol.
In a recent letter to syndicated advice columnists and landers...
No wonder I was not allowed to watch this as a child. No wonder. Now it's coming together.
A concerned parent wrote of a 4th grade teacher who had asked her students to write a short essay.
Sarah says, what does this have to do with Halloween? Right? Yeah, this is a huge... I don't know. There's just a million fallacies going on here. Post hoc and slippery slope and so many.
On what they would most like to do to celebrate Halloween. 80% of her 9-year-olds expressed the wish to kill somebody.
Wait. What? What did he just say? What? Yeah, straw man fallacy.
In a recent letter to syndicated advice columnists and landers, a concerned parent wrote of a 4th grade teacher who had asked her students to write a short essay on what they would most like to do to celebrate Halloween. 80% of her 9-year-olds expressed the wish to kill somebody.
No, they did not. You telling me? You go to a class of 9-year-olds and ask them how they want to celebrate Halloween, and 80% of them say they want to kill somebody to celebrate Halloween. Really? I'm a little skeptical. You sure it wasn't that they wanted to eat candy and dress in costumes? Because I don't think there's a ton of bloodthirsty 9-year-olds just brimming with murderous intent.
It is easy to see how Halloween's ambiance can promote an unhealthy desire for violence.
All of today's
Look at those bloodthirsty fucking bees. Those children want to kill.
Seemingly innocent Halloween customs.
Seemingly innocent children, but no. 80%, 8 out of 10 9-year-olds want you dead. Don't let the bees fool you.
Customs and symbols have their origins in the ancient Celtic Day of the Dead. For example, the practice of trick or treat is from Celtic tradition, where people gave food in return for blessings from spirits of the dead. Failure to supply treats would result in demonic retaliation. Jack-o'-lanterns grew out of the Celtic tradition of carving the faces of demonic spirits on turnips and later on pumpkins. The World Book Encyclopedia says the apparently harmless lighted pumpkin face of the jack-o'-lantern is actually an ancient symbol of a damned soul. Candlelit pumpkins or skulls at a home signified that the occupants...
Mark says, the 7-year-olds I know don't like killing bugs. What happens between 7 and 8? Holy shit. All right.
Was sympathetic to Satan and would therefore receive mercy by spirits and trick-or-treaters on their Halloween rounds. Perhaps the most sickening of all Druidic New Year practices were the human sacrifices which occurred.
I'm going to watch my back around 9-year-olds from now on, honestly. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 9-year-olds. Be careful.
Occurred at midnight. Adults and children alike would be thrown into huge fires while the celebrants danced around them in demonic fits of abandon.
What? I'm not even paying. What are you talking about? Who's burning?
By morning's light, only ashes and bones would remain. These were called bone fires, which is where we get the tradition of bonfires today. The Druids believed that black cats were reincarnations of the evil dead and were possessed with supernatural power and knowledge.
Oh, look at the little supernatural kitty with the possession of all the knowledge. Oh, kitty.
Bobbing for apples was part of the Druidic New Year sexual divination ceremony of fertility. The broomstick and witches' hats were originally considered phallic symbols. When used in the rituals of witchcraft, these objects supposedly transform the sexual energy released during orgasm into psychic energy.
Awesome.
By understanding the pagan origins of Halloween, we can no longer claim ignorance. As parents, we are called
psychic energy orgasms. Hell yes. Hell yes.
Called to a sense of responsibility and must decide whether to allow our children to participate in occultic celebrations which glorify the powers of darkness.
Nope. It's just hilarious thinking back. No, it's absolutely apparent to me now why I wasn't allowed to watch this. This must have been horrifying to my mother.
Deuteronomy chapter 18 spells out God's position concerning man's participation in divination, sorcery, or communicating with the dead.
Kai says the vibrating model. Are you talking about the broom? Get the vibrating brooms. Get the ribbed brooms models.
Verse 12 states that whoever does these things is detestable to the Lord. By participating in the...
Yeah, well, no shit. The Bible also says if you eat from the tree of knowledge, you'll die. I mean, yeah, it's not it doesn't exactly have a great track record of promoting liberating activities, now does it?
Customs of Halloween, whether in fun or ignorance, we are continuing in practices which have been consecrated to Satan. People who love the Lord should stand for separation from these things and not compromise. Christians can gather together at Halloween and use the night to educate themselves to the dangers of paganism and to take the opportunity to pray and wage spiritual warfare against the powers of darkness in their community.
Now you tell me which one sounds more culty. Let's use Halloween for Christians to gather together and talk about the evil, and wage spiritual warfare. That doesn't sound a little. Forget, no bee costumes, candy. Everyone gather around and prepare thyself to wear spiritual warfare upon the infidels.
It can be combined with a time of worship, praise, and thanksgiving to our Heavenly Father.
Worship the sky deity while you do so. Also, don't forget the sky deity worship. You might even want to practice communion on that day. Would you like to drink the blood of your God and consume his flesh as well? Because that's not culty. That's not, any kind of strange ritual.
For victory over Satan, death, and hell. Many of the people appearing on this program got involved in the occult because of a desire for divine-like power.
Yeah, because guess what? They don't want to be slaves to a god in the sky. They want to be their own deity. They want to become themselves. They want to have a place for taking care of the earth and being able to actualize themselves rather than having an apocalyptic view of the end of the world and being eternally subservient to a warlord in the sky whom they must serve eternally or be sentenced to damnation and hellfire. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see the appeal there, Chuck.
The source of occult power is Satan.
No! It's like books and philosophy, man. Okay. I'm gonna get wine everywhere, but oh, Chuck.
It is deceptive, exploitive, and will eventually fail to deliver on its promises. And there is always a hidden and heavy price to pay. The power God offers mankind, on the other hand, stems from...
Oh yeah, what kind of power? Tell me about the power that God offers. Tell me about that. Tell me. What kind of power we got here?
A personal caring for that which he created. If you don't know God, but would like to experience his life-changing
power... Oh, Jesus.
Power,
this is triggering as fuck. Give me all the... God, this is... All right. Let's listen to him give his little pitch about believing in Jesus and becoming saved. Saved from your own sin because you're a dirty, rotten... I'm not saying this. This is because according to Christianity, you are a dirty, rotten sinner and must be saved by Christ because you are horrible, you are worthless, and anyway.
Recognize that Jesus Christ wants to be the Lord and Savior of your life. If you accept the fact that his death...
Why do you want someone to be your Lord and Savior? Why not be your own Lord and Savior? Why not be autonomous? I'm sorry, this is going to my head. But you see what I'm saying? Why would you want a master in the sky? And I mean, I know why. It's because people don't want freedom. They want people to they want a father figure in the sky to tell them what to do. People don't like free will. They don't want to, I mean, I believe was it Sartre that says man is condemned to be free? Most people find freedom to be scary, frightening, and a state that gives them psychological discomfort. They would rather have decisions be made for them. And, you know, Christianity has daddy issues.
And resurrection is payment in full for all of your sins.
Let's you know what? Let's say that again. I want to hear this again. Give me your pitch, sir, about how evil and disgusting we all are, and how dirty we are, and how we need to be saved. Tell me again.
Mankind, on the other hand, stems from a personal caring for that which he created. If you don't know God, but would like to experience his life-changing power, then recognize that Jesus Christ wants to be the Lord and Savior of your life. If you accept the fact that his death and resurrection is payment in full for all of your sins, you will have everlasting life. Within all of us, there is a God-shaped vacuum.
Got a fucking vacuum cleaner in my soul. Why didn't no one tell me? Hoover? What is it, Hoover? Please fill me up, Jesus. Fill me up, Jesus. Please fill me up. Fill me up. I'm ready for your second coming, Jesus. Fill up all my holes.
Throughout the ages, man has attempted to fill that void with the things of the world. But it is only through a relationship with our Creator that we can be truly satisfied. His Holy Scriptures reveal the way in which we can be reconciled to God, and that is through the provisions of His Son, Jesus Christ. I'm Chuck Smith.
And I'm Carol Matriciana. Join us again for another edition of The Pagan Invasion.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, exit your CGI castle. All right. Well, let's see Let's see the outro. I'm curious to see if we have any graphic, how their graphics are.
The Pagan Invasion is an explosive new 13-part video series providing a thorough behind-the-scenes examination of today's New Age movement and neo-pagan revival. Each superbly produced volume features rare footage from around the...
All right, I think we're good. So, sorry, that last bit really triggered me because it's everything that I am opposed to. So, I mean, here we've seen this, and so, I mean, the big takeaway here is, excuse me, yes, there are lots of evil people in the world. We know that. But for the most part, pagans and occultists are dedicated to caring for the earth, caring for themselves, and like we saw the 11 satanic rules, that it's specifically prohibited animal abuse, child abuse, making sure that consensuality is a big part of it. So, and again, I am not what you would consider, I'm Hyperion, which is different from, it's not paganism, it's not occultism, it's not any of these things, but it's a big step up from mainstream Christianity. And so the main takeaway here is don't fall for this shit, because I know this is 1991, so you might be thinking, oh, that's old. But this just saying, like, obviously this stuff keeps getting recycled and just put out in a different way throughout the years, you know, this is very, very, very reminiscent of a proto QAnon. So every generation, they're going to have bullshit like this. So don't fall for this lie that you're some dirty, rotten, evil sinner where you need to worship some guy in the sky who died for you. No, you are a powerful being. We are all powerful beings. This is our world, and this is a place that we have come to experience each other, learn and grow. We should take care of our planet. We should take care of each other, and we should live in a community where we are dedicated to building each other up and making sure that we have the best possible life. And I mean, if you find that satanic and evil, then I think that there is something very skewed about how you view the world, and you really need to reflect on your priorities. So that's our goal. We want to create a healthy earth, a healthy planet, and a healthy people, both individually and as a collective. And again, if you find something wrong with that, you need to do some very firm psychological examination. And why do we find Halloween to be a useful holiday? Not because of babies drinking baby's blood or anything like that. Halloween is a useful holiday because we all have this inner repressed content. Halloween allows us to express ourselves in a place where we aren't being judged, we aren't being mocked by the world. It allows us to express ourselves, explore parts of ourselves that society has repressed and we may not feel comfortable doing otherwise. That's why it's the beginning of shadow season for us in Hyperionism. So Halloween is a very healthy and expressive holiday. So don't fall for this sort of shit, okay? But there is one thing true about that, and it is that we are invading. But technically, we're not invading, though. We are just reclaiming what is ours. It's not any kind of invasion, you know. It's a reclamation. We're reclaiming what is ours and what was stolen and taken from us. And if anyone is raping the earth, it's not us. It's others who I won't name because you know who they are, but because of social media and whatnot, the earth is being destroyed and raped by, and your power and your individuality is being stripped from you. So really, don't fall for that shit. Let's create a new world, a healthy world, a better world, a beautiful world where we are our own sovereigns, where we bow before no one, and instead respectfully reflect the divinity within each and every one of us. But that's the end of that. But I'm still going to hang out with you guys in the chat because I have had a lot to drink and I just want to hang out with you guys and look at the comments and everything. So, and I'm going to be completely here. Oh, I didn't even have. I've had a little bit to drink. So I don't know if I had the right screen up. I don't know if I had it on the screen. Anyway, hopefully I did. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Yeah, that last bit where he's making that call to action to be saved from your sin, that's triggering. I mean, the whole thing is really triggering. But especially that, yeah, I mean, that's triggering because it's this whole idea, again, of being told basically every single day that you're not good enough, you're worthless, you're broken, you're dirty, you're sinful, and you need to be saved. And that's a horrible thing to subject to a child. But I'm going to end my rant there because I want to hang out with you guys and enjoy my time here.